And we're going to move on to, I guess, should we call it Girlfriend's Day or Girlfriend Self-Titled Day? Is it Self-Titled Day?
I don't know.
Just Girlfriend's Day?
That's the point.
We're going out with the girls. With our girlfriends.
The girlfriend.
For us, at least. Good afternoon. Good evening, because, we have listeners all over the world. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Moshpit. I'm Michelle, joined by my co-hosts, Brienne and Kelly. How are you all doing today? I have not prepared my typical monologue and soliloquy, because you know what? I am not a morning person, and I was not ready for this. I did come up with something, and then I hated it, and I got rid of it. So you guys are welcome, because usually we know I am cringy as fuck. So if I say it's bad, you know it's bad. Anyways, we were just chatting, and as we've said before, we come from 3 different states, and it was pretty chilly this morning for me when I let the dog out, and Kelly got snow yesterday.
Boo.
Brienne, on the other hand,
I'm down in Florida, and it is quite nice because for the first time in, I don't even know, probably like since last winter, I woke up and it was 54 degrees outside this morning, and it was beautiful. However, it's supposed to get up to 78 today, so it's not going to last long, but I'm going to take it in while I can.
Isn't she a lucky duck?
Yeah, get back to me in the summer when it's 90,000 degrees down here.
I mean, I would still prefer that over the cold. Though I gotta say, ever since moving back from California, I have missed the season, so I'm a little bit more appreciative of winter. So yeah. But anyways, the lucky ones, though, are our listeners. 'Cause we have a fucking great episode in store. Like, it's so great that we didn't need my bullshit. We got our typical music news, and as we've been talking about them for quite a bit, another track by track, it is Girlfriend's self-titled debut album. Actually, we gotta emphasize that. So we're gonna be talking about that. It's, it is definitely, I think 2020, with all the shit, is the year of pop punk, because as much as I disagree with, like, Machine Gun Kelly being the savior of pop punk, and don't come at me, people, because I did like the album, so shush. I think, we're getting a lot of new sound, a lot of new eyes on the scene, and it's definitely going to be great, and, we're going to have, like, cool new people coming in and expanding it and evolving it. So we're excited to talk to you today about this album, but per usual, as always, like we always do, music news. All right. So music news. First off, I'm super excited about this. We got a new song from the Wonder Years, called Breakless. Now, I was never a huge Wonder Years fan. They kind of started showing up on, like, my Discover playlists and all these kinds of things, and, like, the Pop Punk's Not Dead, like some other newer stuff, and I all of a sudden I was like, wow, this band's, like, really good, and, like, it didn't really register, like, who they were, because sometimes you have things on, like, shuffle, and you hear the song, you know it, you love it, but you don't know the name, you don't know the band. And then a couple years back, I think I mentioned it before, I went to see them for their, like, semi-annual Halloween extravaganza.
Semi-annual Halloween?
Yeah, they do it, like,
2 times a year?
Maybe, like, every other year.
Maybe I was thinking biannual. I thought you meant they do a Halloween show twice a year.
Like, that would actually be fun. Like,
that's a bold choice. But cool.
It's like Christmas in July, but, like, Halloween in June. Yeah?
Pretty cool.
I would totally be down for a second Halloween a year.
You'd have to do it, like, earlier, though, because it's supposed to be... Oh, no, you're right. No, it'd be May, technically, because usually July and December is 6 months apart.
Yeah.
So it'd be May.
May.
Halloween in May? Oh, that's right around my birthday. Hell yeah, let's do a second Halloween.
That would be kind of fun.
Ooh, it would be perfect for all our birthdays. Ooh, I think we need
know.
to start this.
I love it.
At the very least, we're going to do costume parties from now on.
Yes, exactly. But so I went to it with a friend because he wanted to go and he wanted like someone to go with him. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Concert. Love it. Let's go. And, you know, obviously in these times you have to be thankful for every concert you've ever gone to because those are the memories we're all holding on to in the moment. But it was, I realized, I'm like, wow, I know so many of their songs. I really enjoy them. But I'll admit, like, you know, they're really like popular albums that they're like known for, iconic for, like The Upsides and Suburbia. I haven't listened to them, but for this song, I'm definitely gonna say that it is in line with their newer stuff, you know, the Wonder Years that I've come to know, and I'm really digging it. And, you know, maybe because we've had Jason Lancaster on the brain, but, you know, I think I've always liked Dan Campbell's voice because he is that similar vibe. You know, he's maybe a little bit raspier, and I love that kind of raspy voice. And, you know, I think his voice stands out amongst the pop punk alt rock scene, so maybe that's why I'm like kind of comparing him to Jason Lancaster, because he also has one of those voices. But yeah, the song was great. I particularly was loving the drums and cymbals in the bridge, the little ba-da-ba-ba-bum. Yeah, you know, they always have like a fantastic mix of sounds in their songs, and it's definitely in this one. And I don't know if this single is an announcement for an album, but I hope so.
Would be pretty cool.
I mean, not an announcement, because obviously it hasn't been announced, but
Foreshadowing.
yes. Ooh, foreshadowing. That's the word I was looking for.
Precursor?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I've never, like you, I've never really been like an avid listener of the Wonder Years, but like there are a couple of their songs that are like, you know, in my constant rotation that I really like. What are they? Like Local Man Ruins Everything is like one of my favorites. So I know like a couple of their songs and I like their sound, so I don't really know what like kept me from listening
Me either.
to them
Like
more
Passing
than
Through
I
a
do.
Screen Door is one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's like a couple of bands like that where like I know a couple of their songs and I love them. I just like haven't taken the effort to like go listen to the rest of their stuff, which is not good of me as a pop punk advocate. I will do better.
But when, you know what, we're gonna say it's okay, because you know what, that does take like a lot of mental effort sometimes to go listen. You like a band and you want to listen to their whole discography, and you know we are supporters of mental health, so you know what, do it in your own time.
Yeah,
right.
There we go.
Okay, well then can we stop making fun of me for not knowing bands?
No.
Anyways, I've heard of them though.
Well, this is a good start to get into them. The drums and his voice are definitely like standouts of this track for me, but in general it's just very pop punk and I'm here for it.
I can't get behind his voice. It's interesting. Like the whole song I really, really liked. Like the, you know, it's summer in high school and, you know, you have no cares in the world, and it was a good song, but every time I just kept getting distracted by his vocals. It kind of, to me, it doesn't sound raspy. It sounds like a kid going through puberty and like he can't decide if he's going to hit the high note or the low note. Like, I don't know. I was not into it.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of his voice, but the song itself was really great overall. Like, I would not listen to it because of his voice. It was just, it kind of got knocked down.
It's not a deal breaker, but you wish he had finished going through puberty.
Oh my God.
I wish he had picked, well, not, okay, maybe that's the wrong term. It just seems like he can't decide if he's gonna go into the high register or the low register. Mm-hmm. Like it feels like he's like towing that line and not picking one and sticking. You know what I mean?
Gotcha,
like
yeah.
It just sounds like he's stuck in the middle of two. So the puberty thing was probably the wrong analogy, but you know what I mean. He just sounds very awkward, and I wasn't a huge fan.
It's not tasty
but
for you.
I did like the song overall. It was you know, it was okay. It was palatable, but what is really tasty is Anarbor's new single called Tasty. It is very sultry. Like, the beginning of it is like, it makes me feel naughty, but not in like a sexy way, in like a British naughty. Like, it's very naughty. Like,
no, I totally agree with you. It was
a
a little
great
kind of
song.
like
I really
tongue in
liked
cheek,
it.
kind of sultry.
Yeah.
Like, for me,
Yes.
like I felt like they were trying to seduce me. I mean, like, I was definitely vibing with it because he was like a little like shoulder shake shimmy kind of jamming with it. It's still definitely a whole new Ann Arbor for me that I'm not used to. So I wasn't super vibing with it. I do dig it. I mean, it did have like a little mainstream Harry Styles vibe that mixed with like the cab. So that's like completely does not compute for me to be Ann Arbor, but I do dig it.
Yeah, I mean, like Brie, that's probably the hottest take, like most accurate thing I've heard all day, at least so far. But I definitely, I mean, I actually kind of like it. It's I definitely agree with you, Michelle. It's not like typical Ann Arbor that we're used to, but they seem to be, trying something a little bit different. But I mean, I kind of think it's working for them. It's a pretty cool song.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like detaching the old Ann Arbor from my head and coming to terms with this, because it's not even like it's like an evolution of sound like we have seen with bands like All Time Low and The Main,
even Paramore
and everything, but it
was like a slow transition, whereas this is
just completely different.
One and another.
It's a little jarring, I think.
You've got like a cognitive dissonance, pulling out my college vocab.
There you go, Brie.
All right, next song, new song to share, and actually new band as well for Brianne and Michelle. So the band Rematch released a new song called Words That Rhyme with Liar. And so this is the first single from Rematch's debut album, slated to be released in spring 2021 from the Lost Music Collective. And this song, Words That Rhyme with Liar, was actually mixed and mastered by Seb Barlow of Neck Deep. And so I just really love Rematch. I found them maybe a couple months ago and just became like totally obsessed with their EP, Do It All Again. And this just makes me really excited for more new songs from them. This is just super catchy, and they're just like really fun modern pop punk, I think. So I was really excited to share Rematch and also, this new song.
Oh my goodness, Kelly, what a fucking find.
You're welcome.
Like, this is just so pop punk. It speaks to my soul. Like, the drums are just pushing this song forward for me, and the guitars, it's like peak State Champs and Neck Deep. Like that in between for both of them, from like the Finer Things Around the World and Back for State Champs, and Wishful Thinking and Life's Not Out to Get You for Neck Deep, with like an extra little splash of pop, and it's just yes.
Okay, I don't know what chemistry class Michelle is in, but I liked it a lot. No, but in all honesty, just everything about the song was amazing. The poppy beginning, the hard guitar throughout, like the drop of the guitar leading into the choruses, it was just awesome. But I would honestly say, like, for me, it's really hard to like listen to a lot of the new music and like be super excited about it. Like, it's like, oh, this is a good song. Like, this song, I'm just like, fuck yes, I need to know everything about them. I need to listen to their entire discography. I know there's only an EP, but like, it's very hard to get me excited about it. I feel like an old lady. That's what I mean, seeing grandma peak, but for me, it's hard to find the time or the energy to research music and stuff. And this was like, okay, this is someone I need to put that aside for.
I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, no,
so proud of myself. And you both have
so
homework, and it is to listen to their song "Live a Little" off of that EP. I mean, listen to the whole EP if you can, but if you only listen to one other song, listen to "Live a Little." Write that down.
Noted. Yes, Miss Kelly.
I'll go with Professor Kelly, but whatever.
Oh, okay. When Brienne made that chemistry thing, I was like, I'm like Professor Pluton from Powerpuff Girls, this, that, and the other thing, and then we get the Powerpuff Girls.
I think you're overthinking your analogies, Michelle.
Oh, am I? I always overthink my analogies. You know who else is overthinking? Boys of Fall. So they've released a few songs from their upcoming album Distance, and we've been like super bad pop punk podcast hosts and pop punk advocates and have not been telling you guys about this because Boys of Fall are fantastic and people sleep on them for sure. So the first song that we're going to tell you about is Overthinking, and it is again with that kind of rap winding its way into the scene, like, but this is how it should be done again. Like I've said before, it doesn't need to be so explicit. It can be just like that kind of talk singing vibe, and I liked it that they incorporated it with like not necessarily completely unplugged, but a little bit more unplugged in the intro. And then the song really dropped in at the chorus, and oh boy, the screaming caught me so off guard. Like, I've never pegged Boys of Fall for a screaming band. Like, I'll admit, I haven't poured over their entire discography, but I do know a significant amount of songs, and I don't think I've ever heard any of their songs with screaming in it. But, we all know I'm not averse to it, so I'm a fan, and I think it really worked well.
I was a huge fan. This week's been, like, really rough for me, and that's also why we're recording at freaking 9 a.m. on a Saturday, but, the dark, like, moody vibe was just, like, speaking to my soul, and I was just, like, in one of my angsty, like, I need this, and it was just awesome. And the screaming, I agree, because so Michelle builds a playlist every week for us to listen to for the new music, and she had put a couple of other songs on there by them, and I'm like, oh, this is, stereotypical pop punk type stuff, and then all of a sudden the new stuff that we started listening to was just a scream, and I was just like, oh, okay, what is this? So it was awesome. I loved it. It gave me a lot of feels in the best ways of like wanting to punch a wall.
I really like this song. Like, in the first place, like, give me any song about overthinking and I'm gonna relate to it. So I definitely enjoy this song.
Accurate.
It gave me a little bit of Set It Off vibes, because I feel like that's one of the few bands that, like, I listen to regularly that actually, like, does, like, catchy pop punk plus the screaming, like, really well. But yeah, I'm definitely a fan of this song and a fan of Boys of Fall in general.
So next song up on the list we're going to be talking about from them is called Distance. I mean, we obviously talked about in the last song, but they're definitely starting to mix the pop punk and the screaming, and, this one's more like of a ballad rock combo type thing, and it hit all kinds of spots inside my heart. And honestly, they remind me of old school A Day to Remember. But they are very, like, I've never heard of them or listened to them before, and they are extremely talented and have a very wide range, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, the variety that they're showing on this upcoming album is winning me over. Like, from what I'm hearing so far, if they release this before year end, it might be album of the year for me. I'm saying it right now.
Ooh, that's a heavy statement.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hot take. That's a hot take.
Yeah. So the beginning of the song is just so different to Overthinking. And, it's almost like a broadside vibe. And then that buildup is just kind of really feeling super anthemic. And then bam, the screaming again. And it's a fucking roller coaster. But I am an adrenaline junkie and I love roller coasters. So here we are.
I totally agree. I mean, I hate real life roller coasters, unlike you, but this roller coaster I did enjoy.
Same.
Like, just so much passion, like, comes out in his voice, and like, I'm definitely becoming a fan of theirs, and I agree the range and, like, variety between these two songs and the last song that has been released called Midnight. They're all kind of, like, pretty different. So Midnight was the last one, or another one that had been released, and just like especially on this one, I guess, but the contrast of their like the verses of them singing and the screaming is just, like, so stark sometimes, but I actually really like that about it, because then you can, like, sing along to it, but then you can also, like, get your anger out, which I enjoy.
I agree with the singing and, screaming opposites. Like, right out the gate, they came to fucking play. Like, you got the sweet voice right out the front, and then all of a sudden you're immediately hit with, like, the screaming and whatnot. But the fact that they still give you a chorus to sing to is big for me, especially because, like, most of the time, like, I don't really understand what they're screaming unless I look at the lyrics. So I like having the option of, like, just singing along to the chorus and then rocking out and, like, headbanging during the screaming parts.
Yeah, like, I legit jumped when the screaming came in on this one. I've already kind of gotten into this vibe of them screaming, and then it starts out like okay, and then all of a sudden just boom, like a freight train right in your face. They're pulling out all the stops legitimately. Like I said, I haven't been a hardcore Boys of Fall fan before, but I think I'm obsessed. Like, I am ready to jump in these mosh pits. And we've talked about the music a lot and vocals, but I need to shout out the lyrics of all these songs. Like, it's some really good shit.
So good.
And the newest song that Boys of Fall released was on Friday, October 30th. And I will honestly, I'm in love. The intro guitar was just wow. And it was just so into it. And, after the screaming in the last few songs, it was, like, really nice that it was just kind of sprinkled in versus being, like, a feature of the song. And, like I said, they like we've been saying, they're really showcasing their talent in these singles so far. And, I can definitely see the chorus being one of those, like, iconic lyrics that people get tattooed. And and then the way it chilled at the bridge and just came up and gave the second half of the song just all that passion and power. This is probably my favorite of the four.
Yup. Just yup. Like, it's just like the word yup. I don't know if you said the name of the song though. It's worth it. I don't think I did. It's definitely worth it for you to go listen to it. Guitar riff just bangs. The lyrics are awesome. It's yup.
That guitar, though, like, just, it's so intense, and I agree, Michelle, how you said sprinkled, I used the term peppered in my notes.
Light seasoning.
We'll have, like, we'll have Salt Bae and some pepper and shit all up in this song, because I like that it's, not a full-blown section of the song, so you can still rock out, but still, like, sing, which has always been my vibe, is being able to headbang while I'm singing. The ending piano where it, like, trails off, it, like, gave me some spooky vibes a little bit, and I love that, considering it's Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
We never said Happy Halloween.
Yeah, today's Halloween.
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, I guess I'll be listening to it, it's going to be turkey season by the time you guys are all listening to this, but Happy Halloween.
Spooky. You already did all your spooky stuff on the last one.
Yeah, because it was coming before Halloween. This one's coming after, so there's that.
Fair.
We're trying to be on your timeline, not ours. But it's a happy Halloween anyway.
We're here to serve. So, moving on from Boys of Fall onto our next new release, because there was a lot of theirs. Next new songs from Tiger's Jaw. They were recently signed to Hopeless Records, and we talked about them on a previous episode. And their new song, Cat's Cradle, came out. I liked the 80s guitar vibe paired with, like, the hard guitar, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of her vocals. It's really hard to understand what she's singing, and she has no passion in her voice. It kind of reminds me of, like, kids at a chorus concert or something, where, like, they're singing the notes and they're doing their thing, but there's no soul. And I feel like, I don't know, all the bands in our genre have, like, those intense, like, we always talk about the passion, and she just did not have any passion.
Yeah, I feel you. Like, I gotta say, like, the lyrics for this are pretty damn good. For me, I was having the same kind of trouble. It just wasn't hitting home, because her vocals is, like, it's just a little too airy or ethereal. Like, it slices through me a bit. Like, I went back to listen to some of the popular Tiger's Jaw, and for some like me who hadn't really previously listened to them, I didn't realize they had a male vocalist before. So Yeah. So personally, from what like I was hearing, I think I preferred when the previous singer Adam was a part of the band. But like, if you are a fan of Tiger's Jaw and their vibe now, this song is definitely in line with previous Tiger's Jaw, like with Adam on it, and even the last couple of albums with Brianna singing. Honestly, she may be just testing her vocal range in this song because some of the other songs like featuring her pipes, I like it a little bit more. It was just too like. For me, I don't know. And the song, I don't. Yeah, the song was fine though. Otherwise,
Yeah, it was like a little bit more like indie or alternative, I think,
a little bit, I think. Yeah,
than like yeah, which is not really my cup of tea. But I did love playing Cat's Cradle when I was younger, so shout out.
it was a fun game.
Yeah, fun game. Uh, so one more new song to share from Story Untold, and the name of the song is "This Song Wasn't Good Enough for the Album." We mentioned them, Story Untold, before. I think we talked about them in the episode where we talked about some lesser known bands. I think.
Oh yes, that's when we mentioned them. I think.
Yeah, and very bold song title for sure.
I love it.
I thought it was like cute and catchy, but I thought it may be like a tiny bit like lackluster. I don't know. I might still be on a high from Boys of Fall, but
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, for a band moving to a more alt rock vibe, this was like pretty pop punk based song for
mm,
me. And yeah, it was fine. But I don't know, maybe we should take the song title at face value. It wasn't good enough for the album that they're trying to create here.
Yeah, so, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I have a very interesting analogy, so I'm stealing Michelle's thunder for once. But give me a little leeway to explain it.
Okay.
The
I feel
song is
like you
like
shouldn't have to
candy corn.
explain an analogy.
Well, this song is like candy corn. I'm one of those weird people who really likes candy corn, but you can only have it in
Ew.
small amounts.
Nope.
Because if you have one piece too many, and you're gonna feel like sick because they're so very sweet. This song was like sickeningly sweet very fast. So I feel like this put like even just finishing the song was having that one piece too many where it just made me like bad taste in my mouth. I will say, however, at the very beginning of the song, when it's like auto-tuned for the first two lines, I wasn't looking at who was next on the playlist, and I was like, why is there an all-time low song on here? Because I was convinced it was Alex.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have always liked the vocals for Story Untold. It's just, yeah, this song was, it was odd. I don't know.
Mm.
It was like I don't know, it was just overly sweet and poppy, and I don't know. It sounded like they were trying something new, and it just didn't work.
All right. That is all the new music. Well, that's not true. We have a whole track by track for you. But it's all the new singles that we're going to share with you. But one other piece of, I guess, music news, but just not new music. There was a lot of pop punk drama on Twitter this weekend coming from the Wendy's Twitter account. Pretty funny, pretty cool. Definitely a pop punker like us runs the Wendy's Twitter account, which is pretty cool. There was a bunch of tweets back and forth between like some band members and then also some fans, and the Wendy's Twitter account replying. This just gives me life. I'm very excited. I really don't eat fast food, but like I want to go to Wendy's all the time now.
Well, that's the point, right? That's what these big brand Twitter accounts do. They try to relate to you like they're a person, which I guess this person is a person. But what I found really funny was though they're not like like surface level pop punk. They're like deep in it.
They're in
they
it.
they were like recommending like Meet Me at the Altar, Hot Mulligan, not super popular bands that like everybody would know. They were legit.
I know. If you're listening, oh my God, how cool would that be if the Wendy's Twitter person listens to the Mosh Pit? Oh my God.
Yes. Reach out. Let's hang out.
Oh my God.
Let's
that
talk
would be very
music.
cool.
All right, that is all we've got for you for new music news. Not album wise, but and we're gonna move on to I guess Should we call it Girlfriend's Day or Girlfriend Self-Titled Day? Is it Self-Titled Day?
I don't know.
Just Girlfriend's Day?
That's the point.
We're going out with the
Girlfriend's Day.
girls. With our girlfriends.
At the girlfriend.
In the girls' room.
I'm sorry, I just choked on my coffee because Michelle's comment about girlfriends.
It happens.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Alright, Girlfriends is a brand new pop punk duo made up of hip-hop/rapper Travis Mills and Nick Gross of Big Noise Records and Find Your Grind. They cite their influences as Blink-182 and All Time Low, and they enlisted John Feldman as the producer for their debut record. So,
Oh, John Feldman. Love him.
yeah, of course, you were destined to hear a track by track of this debut album from us here at the Moshpit. Girlfriends released 2 fun, upbeat singles off of this self-titled album that we've discussed on past episodes, and we are very excited to share our take on the rest of the songs in this track by track.
Yay. So, first song on the album.
Yay.
It's early, leave me alone. The first song on this album is called The First Time. I'm not gonna lie, after the 2 great singles that came out, this one was like cringe. Like, it's so descriptive. Like, the lyrics are just like, I can't. Like, I understand it's not actually describing that, but like, so the song's obviously called The First Time, and the chorus goes into like talking about just I can't even say it. It just makes my skin crawl. It's basically they describe like losing your virginity in like a very aggressive way, but it's not actually about losing your virginity. I don't know. The song itself is really good, but the second it hit the chorus and they started singing lyrics, I'm just like, I have to turn it off. This is too much. I can't do it.
That's funny.
So,
for me, I thought it was like, catchy and you can pick it up really quick by the second chorus. I don't know. Maybe for me, I was just listening to it surface level in terms of lyrics, because like I was more drawn in by the music. Like I was digging the kind of to start off the album, start off this intro song. The walking in sounds and putting the tape in. And then I really liked how they kind of like slowly started to build in the layers of music, before it all just cut out and then it dropped at the chorus. Maybe this is why you feel it's a little bit cringy, Brie, because it really pulled in a lot of those like cliche pop punk vibes. Like, maybe that just added to the cringe with the lyrics, because like it had like those echoey vocals in the second verse. And I don't know. I thought the song had a great flow. It was like nice, energetic, fast-paced way to start the album, and I thought it was really setting the pace for an upbeat album.
I thought so too. I think so I like closetly used to listen to a couple T Mills songs, and I just really like his voice in this new like pop punk setting, I guess. I think it just like works really well. And this song just like reminded me, it just like sounds like a more hip version of the Click 5.
Okay.
Like,
I can see that. We've been referencing the Click 5 a lot.
I know. It's like, I don't know what, it's just like everything about it just like gave me those like fun, like dancey vibes, but also like had the, drums and guitar and more pop punk elements that I really liked it. I thought it was a bop.
I'd call it a jam.
I had it as a meh.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. We're all over the map.
So
I couldn't get over it.
So what is it? Is it a jam then?
Yeah, it's a jam.
Okay. We're just going with it. We're just going to stick with our first instinct on the math there.
Yep.
We're going to have to say farewell to this rating system at some point.
Oh my.
Speaking of farewell, that's the second song on the album. And I'm not digging this one as much, especially, like I just said, I was expecting to keep the pace that the first time set, and then this is just, like, chill. Like, at a show, I'd just be swaying to the song in the back with a beer. And honestly, the vocals here kind of almost gave me a Machine Gun Kelly vibe, and it threw me for the rest of the song. Like I said, I ended up liking Tickets to My Downfall, but I still am not 100% sold on Machine Gun Kelly, and so that kind of tainted the song for me a little bit.
I thought the like chorus lyrics were kind of clever. Like I liked the lyrics a little bit. What's so fair about farewell? I thought that was kind of cute. But I agree. Like the tempo was a little too slow for me, but and that left like a little to be desired, I guess, for this one. So I guess I kind of agree with you on that, Michelle.
I actually really liked this one. Like, I really liked his voice in this song. And I loved the play on words throughout the entire song. I agree the song itself, like, the music was a little bit slower, but I didn't think that was a bad thing. It's definitely
Maybe it should have been at a different point in the album.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, is that it was too early to pull this guy out.
That's fair. It could have been the farewell to the album. I don't know.
Oh.
That was what I was thinking as well. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good. I actually liked it better than the first time, but that's also just because I couldn't stop having
the
my skin
lyrics
crawl
were
with that
better.
one, so
The lyrics are definitely better.
Yeah.
Yes, the lyrics were, especially with all the, I loved the puns and the play on words and whatnot, which is very, known in our genre and whatnot. So I was appreciative of that. I had it as a bop.
It was a meh.
I still call it a jam. So somewhere.
Jam. It's another jam. Fuck it, whatever.
Jam.
I'm like, I am over our rating system. It fucking sucks.
I think we have to figure something out here.
Should we do stars? I feel like we need to switch to like stars instead, like 1 out of 5 stars. I feel like that's unquestionable.
Oh, that could be a good system. I mean, we're gonna
That's
stick.
not
We already started, so we're gonna stick with it. But maybe in the new year, we'll move to a star system.
We'll come back, guys.
That's a lot of options though. Like, what if we did 3 stars?
Yeah, 3 stars could work.
All right.
We'll figure it out. We'll
Okay.
let you guys know. We'll
Okay.
explain it.
I'm still gonna end up doing half stars, even if we only do 3.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Track number. Oh wait. So did we rate it? We did. We just don't know what it is. It's something.
It's a jam.
Like a jam. Okay.
Jam.
Okay.
It's a jam.
Track number 3 is called "Stay a While," and I thought it was pretty good. The chorus like kind of felt like light and airy, but like still had some typical pop punk guitar and drums, and like just like the theme and lyrics of the song I think are very pop punk. That like, if I told you that I loved you, can you promise me you'll stay? Like I feel like that's a very pop punk thing to say.
Yeah, totally.
And I noticed on this one, like so far, at least with the first 3 songs, they're very big on like pre-choruses.
Yeah.
Like all 3 songs so far have like had quite an emphasis, I feel like, on the pre-choruses, which is like maybe a little bit different than I feel like most pop punk is big on like bridges.
Yeah,
like,
they're very
later in the song.
formulaic.
Yeah.
And this kind of broke the formula a little.
A little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was a really fun track. I think this should have been track number 2 because it kept that pace, right? And I think they've said that Blink was an influence for them, and I can definitely hear that here, like during the choruses and in that bass. And maybe that's why Farewell felt like a little like what MGK did with Tickets to My Downfall, because he was heavily influenced by Travis. So maybe that's where I'm feeling this like similarity, because there is a huge Blink influence, I feel like, and I saw it throughout the whole album.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked the heavier guitar in this one a little bit. I feel like the other 2 were a lot more like synth heavy versus like actual instruments, and versus this one's a lot more of like guitar and but I liked that it was a lot lighter and airier, like you guys were talking about. I don't know, it was fine. There's not really much to add on what you guys had already said. It's fine. I didn't have a rating for it, period, because I just was like,
So it's a meh for you.
I guess, yeah.
I put it as a jam.
I said jam also.
Okay, jam it is. Now onto a certified banger. I'm saying it now. I don't care what you guys think. We got
It's been certified.
California, been certified. California was one of the first singles that they released on the album. We discussed it when the song came out. The song is awesome, and in all honesty, you only need 2 words to describe the song, which is gang vocals.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yes.
It's so fun to sing and it's so fun to rock out to. It reminds me a lot of that Blink-182 album where literally the entire album was about California.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys remember that one? I can't even remember.
It's called California.
it is.
That's why I was about to ask him what it was called, and I'm like, nope, that's just the name of the album too. But yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, I know I originally said I liked it. I honestly don't remember what else I said about California the first go around, but you know, now that I made the comparison, I can't really get it out of my head. So it's definitely very Blinkish and maybe even a little Machine Gun Kelly-esque. So for like the first half of the song, I was a little turned off because it was just a recycled kind of thing. But then I got back into it, and I'm definitely still a fan, especially because of, like you said, Brie, those gang vocals. They get you every time, and
They
that
just
guitar
win us right over.
win us right over, and and then it sealed the deal. That guitar solo at the end was just hard eyes.
Yeah, the song is so good. I think it was a really good pick too for like their first song ever, like that they released
Yeah,
as a band. Like I think
Agreed.
it really encapsulates like their essence, like what they're trying to do. So I really really liked it, and yeah, like you can't go wrong with gang vocals. So obviously I'm sold.
So along with California, they also released the other single, Eyes Wide Shut, which is track number 5 on the album. And of the 2 singles, this one is definitely my favorite because it feels the most unique to me off the album so far, with its like little synthy electronic vibe it's got going. And lyrically, I love it too because I think it tells a very clear story to me, which kind of just is just reinforced by the pace of the song, and then the part with the eyes wide shut where they say it's just where it's just boom right there. That part's great. I love that. Oh, did we rate California?
I thought it was a certified banger.
I rated it at the top.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll leave it as a certified banger.
I think Eyes Wide Shut is also a certified banger.
I also had it as a certified banger, so that's good. That's out of the way. I loved. Since we've already discussed it, on top of everything else that we had already said, I was listening to the synth and I'm like, I've heard this beat somewhere before. I couldn't place it, and I finally, out of nowhere, did after listening to it for like the 50th time. Have you guys ever heard the song "Such Great Heights" by the Postal
Service?
Postal
Yes,
Service, yeah,
I love that
Postal Service.
song.
What the fuck am I talking about? The do 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 do. The synth is almost identical.
Okay, yeah.
To the one in this song.
All right, yeah. I see it.
Okay, so yeah, still love this song, and I agree, I do like this song better than California, but I feel like they're both certified bangers. So
I think the production on this one was pretty good with the synth that you guys talked about, but it also had like really great backing guitar and drums, and the chorus is just a banger. This one is one that I have, added to my favorites and listened to a lot.
So another certified banger.
I'd say that
Yep.
would be my
All right.
expert rating.
yeah, buddy.
There we go.
Yeah. On to track number 6, Jessica. This one, well, like first, before we get into it, I have to give a big shout out to my sister, Jessica. Definitely a different Jessica than is referenced in this song, but had to give a shout out. I think this song is super catchy. I actually really like it, and this one did have a nice bridge. I know we were talking about like pre-choruses and bridges a little earlier, and I think this one had like a pretty nice bridge in it that like kept it going. And I hold that I absolutely love bridges, and they just make songs better.
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Thank you.
Literally, the one note I had was the bridge spoke to my teenage soul because my screen name in high school for AIM was Something I'm In Too Deep, referencing that Sum 41 song. So when I heard that, I was just like, oh, God. I remember when I was emo. That's fun.
I loved it. Like, I actually didn't really register the bridge as much. For me, it was the drums and the chorus that really stuck out. Like I said, I'm continuing to hear that Blink-182 influence because, that felt very Travis Barker-y to me. And, I loved the way it was just so high energy and passionate, about making this plea to Jessica, about where they stand in the relationship. And, then there was that little drop-off of saying I miss you. Like, not only do I love that kind of, like, device of where, like, all of a sudden they just kind of like say a quick something versus saying it, but it just the way the song was structured, it felt like that very intimate and personal and vulnerable moment when you're like just broken, like at the end of a relationship, and all your feelings just kind of boil down to that I miss you, and I was, yeah, it was a jam for sure.
It has a bop.
Jam.
Another jam. Next song, number 7 off the album, was Up All Night. And I hadn't really been paying super close attention to lyrics at this point, so this is the first track I noticed like a cohesive storytelling effort coming after Hey Jessica, like, post a breakup, which that's kind of what Jessica alludes to me at least. You always kind of focus on yourself, maybe you chop all your hair off or dye it red, get a new tattoo, start a new hobby. I thought
okay,
that was,
you literally just described all of my breakups.
Me too.
Like, not even joking. Like, the tattoo, the red hair, the short, that's why do you think I ended up with a pixie? Like,
I did the red
it's
hair.
a lot.
That was my post breakup.
I had the red hair too, but actually I had the red hair, then immediately 2 weeks later I chopped it off into a pixie. That was a fun transition.
But musically, I have nothing really bad to say about it, but nothing really good either. I mean, it had some like nice oohs, but it was kind of forgettable aside from that. But it did tell a good story.
I was gonna say the same thing about the oohs and the chorus are just prime. Like those are, I think that was like the highlight of the song for me. But I mean the verses were like kind of catchy, but I don't know, the oohs and the chorus were just like the best part, I think. Other than that, I agree.
I'm gonna get on my lyric soapbox real quick. The part where it goes, I want someone to know who they are, why is that so hard? I'm sorry, but this is the most observant yet oblivious question on the face of the goddamn planet. Knowing who you are is like one of the truest signs of that you're like growing up and like, getting to know yourself. But later on he answers his own goddamn question by saying, I guess this is growing up. Like, I don't like I don't know. I was so just like, yeah, duh. Like, what do you mean, bro?
I guess this is growing up.
Wait,
that was an actual line in it? Like I said, I haven't been paying super close attention.
I think. I'm pretty sure it was. I mean, I wrote this.
I guess this is growing up is
Yeah.
Absolute Blink-182. Are you kidding?
Hold on, let me do a quick Google search.
I mean, while researchers that, I just want to point out real quick, you all can't see it, but Brienne still through lockdown has not gotten a haircut, so her hair is in her face right now as we speak, and it keeps like kind of like like the side sweep
It's
that
really...
like emo boys used to do back in the day, like they would like shake
it's
their head
really
and their hair would fall out of their face. That's what Brienne's doing.
It's really difficult because on top of that, I'm wearing like the big can headphones, so it pushes my hair forward even more. So when we're talking, I can't fucking see what I'm doing.
Legitimately, as she was saying it, her hair came in her face. She pushed it back, and it came right back in her face.
I hate everything. Okay, Up All Night lyrics. Come on. I'm still wanting someone new who knows all the things to do, knowing exactly who they are. Why is that so hard? His part is the pre-chorus at one point, and then going up, not growing up.
Okay.
I'm done having any doubts. I'm not stressing myself out. I guess this is going up. No, it definitely should be growing up. I think the person who ever wrote this is wrong.
Yeah, maybe the person who did the lyrics just didn't. It probably is growing up.
Yeah, I mean it's some random ass.
So see,
it's some random ass.
I mean, even lyrically, they're being influenced by Blink. So, yeah.
100%.
All right, so it was a jam for me.
I said jam too.
Same.
Song number 8 is Over My Head featuring Burt McCracken of The Used. So I thought this song was pretty good. The chorus, I felt like both of their voices like meshed really well. I thought that was like pretty well done. But like at this point, and we've mentioned it like a couple times, like comparing this album so far to MGK. And I feel like that's like kind of the elephant in the room. Like 2 rappers released their first pop punk album within like a week or two of each other. Both of them have a song featuring Burt McCracken, and also both of them worked with Travis Barker. Travis is on the next song. So, like, quite a few, like, overlapping situations there. And, like, it's kind of getting hard for me at this point to, like, not compare this to MGK because, like, they're both trying to do the same thing, I feel like. But I don't know. I think trying to, like, get over that mindset has been part of this listening experience for me, too. But in general, like, I thought this song was pretty good. And I think the feature actually, like, worked really well and, like, paid off for this song.
So, I completely agree with you, Kelly. Like, for me, it's been a struggle because, like you said, I definitely hear that Machine Gun Kelly vibe coming in again in the verses. But I will say, I feel like Girlfriends does it like a little bit better. And
oh no,
well, I like
so
his
much
voice better.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I love his voice. I love
their lyrics are also way better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, they're not talking about some random alien bullshit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for me, you know what's funny is that I didn't actually register the feature until after the fact. And I think it worked so well that it was like almost like seamless integration into the song. You know, it was just very, very pop punk. They went hard on the pop punk on this album so far, but especially this song. Like, not only do I get like a Blink feel, because like I can literally picture Mark Hoppus playing this song on stage and doing his little skip he does. But I also, there was in the pre-chorus there was like a little screaming section that it felt very Patrick Stump to me, and it was it was great. And and it was the electronic breakdown before that last chorus was just very unique, and I'm digging that they're really trying to put their own stamp on their pop punk.
Confession time. I didn't even register that this was a feature until literally right now. Like, didn't know at all until you were like, blah, 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 featuring. And I'm like, wait, what? And I looked at the thing. I'm like, oh, whoops. That explains a lot, that little scream going into the second chorus, which was super unexpected, but I was super digging it. Like, it wasn't a full-blown, like, scream like in Boys of Fall, but it was still, a little...
like a whiny scream versus like a
yes, exactly.
Whoa.
I'm in a metal band on the side,
you practicing?
guys. No big deal. I am.
Oh God, are you joining my ex's metal band?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, remember, we were best friends.
Oh God. But I also, back to the song. I feel like this is a dark, comparison, a darker mood, a little more like, not as poppy and whatever comparison to the rest of the album. So I don't know. I liked the change of pace in this one. I had it as a banger.
Me too.
And it's a jam, so banger it is.
Number 9 on the album, Where Were You, with featuring Travis Barker. And once again, Travis Barker does it again, kids.
Shocking.
This song is very distinctive vibe with those drums. Like, you can pick it out a mile away that they clearly had someone else on drums, and obviously we all knew it was Travis. And it was just the aggressive bass line adds to the whole thing with the screeching guitar and just everything. It was just so mwah.
So I'm going to disagree. Cause
Whoa.
Whoa. Hot
like
take.
For a song with Travis on it, I wasn't super impressed by the drums initially. Like, when I saw that Travis was on it, because I initially didn't see it. I didn't see any of the features to begin with. And I heard the drums. I was like, yeah, they're good, but like not, oh my God, yeah, not for like Travis. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that I didn't like the song. I did like the song. Kelly, you mentioned Set It Off earlier for, who was it, Boys of Fall? Or... I don't remember, but this kind of gave me a little Set It Off vibe. It felt a little more alt-rocky type, and at more than halfway through the album, I think that was a good break in the energy and the pace for this alt-rock vibe. And as a side note, I don't know what I heard because we all know I'm not musically inclined, but I swear there was a xylophone in the bridge. And which, if it was or it wasn't, I'm right here, right now, officially making a plea for the scene to include
More
xylophone in the
xylophone.
pop punk sound.
Yeah,
Is
I
this
actually
our
feel
scenes
like
more cowbell?
Yes,
Yeah,
more
exactly.
xylophone.
This was like that one time. I don't remember if I actually said this or if I like didn't say it because I was embarrassed. But at one track by track we were doing, I thought I heard a kazoo, and like I might have. Like, I think I just made it up, and like you might be making up xylophone, but like either way, give it to us.
Yeah,
Um,
we want this now. If it's not there, we want it.
we want it.
We're taking
But
applications for people to teach us about the actual sounds of music so we don't just keep using bullshit terms.
Yeah.
something that sounds like a xylophone happened in the bridge. Um, I feel like I'm like in the middle ground between both of your opinions on this song. Like on one hand, I feel like the drums were the standout for this song. Like I don't know if they were like the absolute best Travis Barker I've ever heard, but I do think the drums were like one of the standouts of this song. But like aside from the drums, like this song didn't really do a whole lot for me. Like I don't know, it just it felt like a little bit flat for me. But I did think that the drums were really good.
See, that was the thing. I agree. Like the drums were not like peak Travis Barker, but they were distinctive enough because I didn't even know that there were any features on this album until I heard, and then I heard the song and I was like, why did the drums sound so distinctive? Not necessarily distinctive to Travis, but distinctive from the rest of the album. And that's when I looked and I saw it was Travis, and I was like, oh, that makes way more sense that the drums are a lot more of a standout versus like the other songs. They weren't as like present, I guess, was more of my point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna definitely disagree. Just because for me, like throughout the album, I have been super impressed by the drums and really
I
hot
think the
take,
drums are
but
like good on the rest of the album. These
y-
it was just like you could tell they were different.
They were different.
I
And
guess
like
maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was different, and but I don't know. Like I was gonna say, a hot take. I think the drums on the rest of the album are better than the drums in this song.
woo,
Ooh, flaming hot. Shit, Mish. All right, what are we
hot
rating?
fire flames.
Yeah,
I said meh.
banger.
I had a jam.
So jam, sure.
Sure, that's one of the math just will never work out on that.
Yeah. So moving on to track number 10, Wicked Games. So back to our conversation about drums. I think the drums are phenomenal on this track. Like absolute major hard eyes. If there is one thing that they've nailed throughout this album, it's the drums. Like those marching kind of drums in the first chorus, very reminiscent of My Chemical Romance. And in the second chorus, they still kill it too. And but I will say that's the only highlight of this song, because like the switch off in the whole vibe of the song after that first chorus threw me, and I wasn't sure I liked it, and I'm still not because it kind of felt like two different songs in one, and I think at this point in the album I'm feeling a little love and breakup song fatigue. Like I'm kind of over like, oh, she left me, oh, I'm so sad.
So let me guess, you're
Yeah.
not a Taylor Swift fan.
Not like full. I like songs, but I don't listen religiously.
Okay, so this song, I find it funny that you were talking about like how it switches and whatever, because literally my first descriptor was this song is a chameleon, because at the very beginning of the song, I was getting a lot of like all-time low vibes, and then when the marching drum came in, I literally put Black Parade ?
Yeah.
And so I really liked the change, and it was showing more of their range, and I don't know, I really liked it, and I agree the marching drums were probably the best drums on the album.
Agree. Like the marching drums were so cool, and the intro in general, like that the intro to the song was just so good. But I agree with Michelle. Aside from that, I didn't really like the rest of the song very much. I don't know. Um, Maybe it was the lyrics. I don't really know. I'm trying to remember like what the lyrics were to this song. And now I'm looking at them. It's like I don't know, like what wicked game were they talking about? Love? I don't know. Probably because they broke up. I don't know. See, at this point in the story, I'm just like lost. I
Yeah.
think.
Can't
I
keep
don't
up.
know. Can't keep up with what's happening. I don't know. Yeah, aside from like the good drums, the good intro, didn't it was a little meh for me.
Meh for me as well.
It has a jam, but I will accept meh.
Oh, the first meh of the album.
Yeah, that's too bad.
That is a shame.
We made it pretty far. Track number
Yeah.
10.
I think this is the farthest we've gone without a meh.
Impressive for a debut album.
Exactly.
True. Okay, so get ready for some flaming hot takes on this one.
Oh boy.
Song number 11, Sugar on Her Lips. All right. I feel like this song gave a hard left turn into oncoming traffic to the album. Everything up until this point was awesome and creative, and yeah, some of it might have been a little bit formulaic, but like this is just cheap copycatting lyrics, and it was just, I was not into it. The lyric specifically, "Just let me see you naked," is literally the anthem of all men. Like, did you really, like, this is so cheap and bullshit, and with everything else that they've sang about, like, yeah, some of the lyrics might be a little corny, this one's just bad. I will say though that the only redeeming quality of this was the gang vocals.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
No, I totally agree. For me, like, there was two redeeming qualities: the gang vocals and the maybe like 5-second intro, which was very much the Cab but Symphony Soldier vibe.
Okay, yeah, I agree
And
with
then
that.
it
I agree
went
with that.
and then it went into just a downhill spiral from there. I agree with you, Brie. Like, just it was just very lame.
I was like borderline insulted because they had such good lyrics till this point, and now it's just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, you had like such good pop punk lyrics, and then you say, "She said I had to wait until the second date to see her naked." Like that's
Yeah.
what your next thought is. Like, okay.
Yeah, like it kind of like makes us sound like angry feminists, but it's just a shitty fucking lyric. It's just a
so
shitty
bad.
fucking lyric. And you cause like I said before, with Wicked Games, at this point in the album, I'm kind of over talking about the fucking girl. I don't give a shit. Like, give me something new. Like, this is, I don't know. I'm just, it didn't do much for me.
It was a flop.
Flop.
I also said flop. It like really pains me to give a song that has gang vocals a flop.
Me too.
I
It
know.
hurts, but like
I almost gave it a
can't.
meh because of the gang vocals.
me too. I was close. All right, we got a little fired up there on that one. We got a little
Yeah.
fired up. All right, track number 12, 2 a.m. featuring Death by Romy. So for me, this was quite the turnaround from the last two songs we
Agreed.
heard. I really, really liked this one. I thought it was a really fun duet, kind of like back and forth intro at the beginning. And I have never heard of Death by Romy before, but I like. And this song, like their voices just work so well together, even though it's such a different sound. And the whole song is just like quite a different vibe from the rest of the album, but like it works so well.
Abso-fucking-lutely. I completely agree with you, Cal. I'm telling you right now, it's my favorite off the album. The dual vocals, and you guys know I'm such a fan of that. Like, that's why I was a huge fan of We Are the In Crowd, because that
Yeah.
contrast is just so fantastic. Like, and her voice is really unique for pop punk. It's, even with male singers, they all have kind of like a similar vibe when they sing pop punk, and the same for female singers in pop punk. But her voice was just very different in this song for what I'm used to for a female vocalist in pop punk. It was just so catchy. Everything was just so good. Like the build up in the bridge at the end, and her cute little like, "Oh, I fucked up," and the way it dropped off at the end, and again, just those drums throughout this fucking album are great.
So the song was like the perfect recovery from the last song. Like otherwise, I
Oh,
don't
absolutely.
know if I would have I don't know if I would have like been able to like mentally go on with the album. I would just been like pissed because I was just so angry. The call and response, I agree, it's just perfect. And I have no idea who this Death by Romy is, but I need to like do some research because her voice is awesome, and she has the passion that remember how we talked earlier in the episode about Tiger Paw, about how the girl had no passion in her voice. Jaw. Thank you. Jaw, no. Yes, thank you, Kelly. Either way, I didn't like them, so it's fine. But Death by Romy had that passion when she was singing, and it was great. Also, quick side note. MGK, this is how you put talking into songs correctly. Not the bullshit that he pulled on that fucking album. Short, subtle, funny, move on to the rest of the song. Like that, the whole like, oh, I fucked up, that was perfect. Unlike his, which was talking through the whole goddamn thing. I'm not going to go back into it. You guys can listen to the last episode if you want to hear me scream about it. Or, no, 2 episodes ago?
Yeah, episode 17.
Thank you. But yeah, I really like the song. This was a great fucking song.
It was bop.
I also said bop.
I did bop.
Our first bop.
Bops all around.
Bop, bop, bop.
We have to do it when we have 3 bops.
Bop, 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 bop to the top.
We crack me up.
Yeah, me too. So track number 13, we are winding down our girlfriend's self-titled debut album track by track. We are on the penultimate song, Right Place, Wrong Time. So this was, we talked about how 2 a.m. saved us from sugar on our lips because it was like a total vibe change. This was also completely different vibe from 2 a.m. It felt a little more like Where Were You? And, it had some all-time low vibes. Like, if you mashed Don't Panic and Future Hearts together a little bit, maybe, especially some of the background vocals, maybe that's what it was for me. I don't know. Again, I think maybe at this point I was getting some album fatigue, especially for, like, a new album. I think it just might be too long. Because the song's fine, but I feel like it doesn't fit into the album.
Agreed. I 100% agree. I think, it had a catchy chorus melody, and like a lot of songs on this album had really catchy melodies and choruses and sing-along-able things. So like that was nice, but I think you're totally right. Like after that, I was like, but like besides that, it kind of like didn't really do a lot for me. There's not a lot to it, and I think you're right. It might just be like after. We're like a little tired after listening to 13 songs so far.
Yeah. Unlike,
I feel like I had more album fatigue on this one than I did with MGK, which is hysterical considering I was like raging against that one.
Well, yeah, but like rage is like
it made you feel something
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of these were like, oh, these are good, but they weren't like. Like really passionate one way or the other. The song, I don't know. I literally have no notes on it. I can't remember. I had to listen to it like 2 or 3 times before we started recording because I'm like, I don't know what to say about it. It's okay. I think the lyrics are kind of stupid, to be quite honest, and I feel like it's like I'm not going to go down that road. It just, I don't know. I was not into it. It was, yeah. It's fine.
So it's a meh, I think, for everybody. Yes?
Yep. Meh.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we're on to the very last song. We're all fucked up.
Yeah, we are.
We sure are. How could they have predicted that?
Now I understand why Farewell wasn't the end of the album.
Yeah. So I like this song in general. I think probably my favorite part was that they started with the chorus, which is like not super common. They didn't do it on any song, I don't think, on this album. And you don't really hear that a ton in pop punk. But I really like that they started with the chorus. It like got me into it. And it is like a catchy, upbeat chorus, so it kind of like tries to pull you in right at the start, which is nice.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually a big fan of this. I think it was a really strong way to end the album. Like I said, I was getting sick of this album at near the end, and I think it ended on a good note for me. Um, like it was very another one that was like very Blink fluenced. I'm coining that term now. For me,
Oh,
but I'll say it didn't feel like it was Blink. Like it did feel like it was this new
something
band,
else.
Girlfriends. You know, it felt
Mm-hmm.
like an influence versus like I'm copying. And I will say, I chuckled at the line, "This town is killing me." It's I was like, okay, guys, I get it. You're totally pop punk now. Like, but yeah, no, I loved the song. It was catchy. It was
I
upbeat. It
love
was
that.
fun.
So this is the editor side of me, I guess, because I like the song and everything you guys have said. I completely agree with. The distortion at the beginning of the bridge is so satisfying, but at the end, there it sounds like they fucked up on the editing of the music. Like it sounds like they're building to like a dramatic ending, and then they chose to just slow it down and stop it. And it's not in like a, oh, we're gonna fake you out and like think you're building to something and then just drop it out. It sounds like they fucked up on the actual editing or the transition or something on the audio, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. But you know, other than that, it was great.
So it was a banger for me.
I also said banger.
I said jam, but I am completely fine with being a banger.
So we ended the album with 6 jams, 4 bangers, a bop, 2 mez, and 1 flop. Ooh. So
I feel like that's a really good average.
I think
Yeah.
that's decent. So like overall, like
You got the bell
good song.
curve.
Yeah, exactly. It's like very perfect. Overall, I think it was a good album. Like, you know, it had good songs and I enjoyed it. But beyond like the singles and 2 a.m., I didn't like hardcore love anything. Like, you know, songs that I'll have on repeat for a bit. You know, I just loved bits and pieces here and there of different songs. And like I said before, the drums on this album are fucking spectacular. It was definitely the highlight for me. But like Machine Gun Kelly and with Tickets to My Downfall, I think it was a solid first effort. And I think moving forward, we'll definitely get a little bit more from them. So, you know, I think I probably would have liked it a little bit more if it was maybe 3 or 4 songs shorter.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I'm between a C plus and a B minus, but after we talked it through, I'm gonna go with a C plus.
Hmm. I think I think I definitely agree with you on like the best songs on this album are the 2 singles we heard in 2 a.m. and then like the other ones that we liked are like they're really good, but they're a step
For like
under
one thing.
those, I
Yeah.
think. So, um I there's like yeah, probably 3 maybe 4 songs on here that I'm going to like add to my like repetitive playlist. Um I think in general, like one of the things I had to get over about this album was trying to compare it to MGK, but I think that's just like part of what this experience is because of, you know, the situation of like 2 rappers going pop punk at the same time. Um, I personally like T Mill's voice better, and I like a decent amount of the lyrics better. Obviously, there were some negative standouts there, but I think in general, what would I rate this? I think I like it a little more than you, Michelle, so I would go a B minus.
So I agree with the comparison to MGK, and Travis produced that whole album, right? Like he was on the
Yeah.
whole album for MGK.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think that's the reason why he had a well-rounded album in comparison to Girlfriends. Like I feel like Girlfriends had the lyrics, they had the whatever, but there was always some little piece missing from each song. Not that it made them bad, it just didn't bring them up to that level. I think MGK benefited a lot from Travis being on the whole album and helping him like shape the album more. I also don't think Travis is a big lyrics guy, so maybe that's why they the lyrics were subpar in comparison. I really think the front end of this album is so significantly better than the back end. Like normally, you know, you have your ups, your downs, your ups, your downs. This one was, you know, all up front, and it was so good. And then the back half was just such a letdown. I think that also plays into the fatigue aspect of it. Not just that it was a long album, but like you were up high and it was like really good, and then it just like all of a sudden crashed, and then it was like, oh, it's just meh for the rest of the album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I liked it a little bit more than Michelle too, so I think I'm gonna go with a B minus.
2 B minuses and a C plus. I guess that would average up to a B minus, right? Is that how it works? Because
Sounds about right.
A low B. It's like a low B minus, so it'd be like an 80 or like an 82 of sorts.
It'd be like a B minus minus.
I guess, if that's a thing.
Let's just simplify. Let's just
Call it a B minus.
yeah. Let's just call it a B minus, which is
All
pretty
right.
good. I mean, like
Yeah.
that's pretty good. There are some really good songs on this album.
Yeah, like I said, it was a solid first effort. I mean, it's definitely worth a listen. You know, obviously our opinions, though expert, are not the same
Based
as
on
everybody
anything.
else's.
Yeah, are just opinions.
They're just opinions. So, again, this is Girlfriend's self-titled debut album, reviewed by the Moshpit. Give it a listen, and you know, tell us what you think about it. And you know where we are if you've been listening. We're at the Moshpit Pod on Facebook and Instagram.
Also, reach out to us on our socials with what you guys think our new rating system should be.
Yes, we would love input on
please.
that.
We need assistance.
Yeah, clearly we cannot manage this by ourselves. Because you know what? We're all fucked up.
Hey.
Hey, bringing it back. See, after all, I was punny in the end. And on that note, we're going to leave you guys to it. Go listen to the album. And until next time, #Mosh on.